and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live tonight on the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. And I'm joined here by DJ Bessami. We have a couple of special guests here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and fill you guys in on that. We have state qualifiers in high school wrestling, Ivani Wilkie and Aiden Robles, here to visit with us this evening on their experiences that they had and their wrestling debuts down at the state wrestling meet. I want to welcome everybody. We are 100.9 FM on the FM dial, KWTN, the official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, the Big Voice Radio. Tonight on the Big Voice Sports Talk Show, we have a list of topics going on. The topics tonight is we're going to speak about high school wrestling. We're going to get to know our two guests tonight, and then just visit a little bit about the sport of wrestling. That's our main segment, and then we're going to move into a little bit of opinionation, talk about the NBA All-Star Game and one of the relatives from up north, Kyrie Irving. And then we're going to move into the Peru State basketball. Postseason is going to be coming up. We have some Winnebago ballers down there representing and making their mark down there in their conference. We'll talk about that with the Winget brothers and also Natasha Dill playing for the women's team. And then we're going to move on into high school basketball. We have a nice discussion tonight with high school basketball. Last couple nights, the beginning of postseason, and Winnebago, Omaha Nation, Santee, and Walt Hill were all in action last night. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll get into our weekly winners and losers. So this week, DJ Bessami, I'm going to ask you to help visit me with these topics here. I know we're shy of DJ Garanteed tonight.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to have this discussion here, and we'll see if we can get through it. All right, so tonight we got a couple special guests here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves and what grade they're in. And and I guess tell us just a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a 12th grader, senior. This was my last year, so I had to go all out.
Aiden Robles. Yes. And he was the only one from the Winnebago boys team to qualify for the state wrestling meet. So congratulations on that. And we'll come back and ask you about your experiences. And you?
Well, this is
You can adjust that, Bonnie. You can bring it up towards you. There you go.
Well, this is my second year wrestling as a sophomore in high school, and I was the only girl on the girls' team to qualify.
I got a couple of questions. Well, first of all, congratulations to you also, Ivani, for making your second trip down to the state wrestling meet. Myself, I've said this before on the show that I'm not that much of a wrestling fan or know too much about wrestling, but as I've been telling the viewers, and as you know too, that my little girls start wrestling, so I'm starting to learn about it. And I watched you guys wrestle when the Winnebago in the News went live down there, and I watched you guys wrestle, and oh my goodness, I can't even imagine my little girl wrestling that hard as you guys were wrestling, But I know that she's only in second grade, and I know she's got a lot to learn, and as long as she can find the love like you guys found in this sport, I think that she's gonna be just fine. So I wanted the listeners to hear a little bit about you guys and maybe what started you guys or what got you interested in wrestling, and maybe some people that were either your mentors or inspiration for you guys to be so successful in this sport. But we're gonna go ahead and start with you, Ivani.
Well, I started middle of 8th grade year in junior high.
Here in Winnebago.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
it was after I got COVID, came back. I was like, you know what? Screw it. We'll go. We'll wrestle.
Yeah. And what was the main thing that got you looking towards wrestling? Was there somebody, one of your friends wrestling, or
Yeah, my friends were wrestling at the time, and they pulled me in.
they pulled you in?
Yeah.
And then I know this too, but your dad, one of the coaches for the Company A youth wrestling team, Trevor, he also wrestled when he was in high school. I brought that up a couple times. So how about your dad? What did when you talked to your dad and talked to him about joining wrestling? Can you tell me how he felt about that and that conversation? How it went?
I could tell he was excited, but also scared at the same time. And
Yeah.
he didn't push me.
He didn't push you, but
He didn't push me until I fell for it.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, that's kind of leaning right toward another question I was going toward. So you just now said that he didn't start pushing you until you fell for the sport, right? So tell me about that experience. What made you fall in love with wrestling?
The environment down there.
The environment?
Yeah.
And we're down where?
Like when you're on the mat and there's just you and your opponent
Yeah.
going out, all out. And you just got people cheering for you in the stands. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. And so I take it that your dad is not your only fan. How's your family?
Yeah, no, my dad's one of the biggest, but my grandma is also one of my other biggest fans.
Your grandma Robin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you want to give them a shout out right now? Yeah. Shout out to Dad Trevor and Grandma Robin for being there in Vonnie's corner. We're gonna come back to you, Vonnie, here in a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Aiden a little bit. You know, Aiden, just for starters, on questions for you. I know that I was around when your older brother made it to the state wrestling meet, and we was real proud of him when he was there. And you know, I see him around from time to time. And I used to coach your little brother or your big brother in basketball when he was in junior high. And that young man, he shows a lot of respect to me all the time. He always calls me coach still. You know, when I see him around, and you know, now he's an adult walking around, and he still calls me coach, and I kind of like that up. You know, but I know that I'm not gonna. I know that he has to be a little bit of influence for you, but I know that there's probably a different story or another story behind you getting interested in wrestling. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I would say he's one of the biggest inspirations. Not only him was, it's also my dad, kinda. I've never met him, but I heard that he was a 3-time state qualifier and a champ actually.
Nice.
In Iowa.
In Iowa.
Nice.
And they have 2 Class A's, and I think he was 1A. So that's like
The big schools.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one thing I say is about not just about like wrestling or basketball, but just like sports in general or being athletic in general. You know, I always call this thing memory DNA. You know, memory DNA. You know, maybe you didn't never see your dad wrestle or anything like that, but it's in your blood. You know. And I say that a lot to the athletes around Winnebago because I know a lot of their relatives, their chokas and their uncles and stuff like that, their dads, and you know, all those things like that, aunties, and a lot of them are good athletes, you know. And then I can see a lot of that old school ball player inside that young athlete, you know, and I see it all the time. But yeah, so how about tell us a little bit about your wrestling upbringing and when did you start?
I started in middle school at 8th grade, I think. That's when there was a lot of people going out, like me, Duran, Alonzo, Ladani, and Destin, but now they're all too scared, except
Yeah.
Lonzo. Yeah.
Everybody else is ball players now, huh?
Yeah. They couldn't handle.
Yeah. Well, I know that Coach Tramner and Coach Zagurski and the other coaches that they have on staff, I know that they, man, those guys are some scary guys when they're down there cheering for you. You know, I was at a couple of your meets watching from the sideline, and I got to watch a couple live stream wrestling meets you guys were in, and yeah, I see Tramner kind of holler around, or he can kind of be loud, but not that loud. You know, man, how is the relationship between you and your coaches?
It's pretty close. We're basically family.
Basically family. Is that how you guys talk in practice and stuff? You know, we're family and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Kind of like
That's
the
good.
whole point.
Yeah. So, question for both you guys about this wrestling stuff, and then Aiden, this is going to be a little bit sooner for you than Ivani, but do you see yourself trying to wrestle at the next level?
Well, the college I'm going to is Wayne State. They have college wrestling. It's more of a club wrestling, but they do take us places to wrestle at duels, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I've thought about it, but I'm not entirely sure just because, I have to stay on my work and all that.
Yeah. I know. The next level any sport, it's a big decision because not only do you have to work out 2 or 3 times more than you did in high school, but you also got to study 2 or 3 times harder than you do in high school. So you got to learn how to balance that, balance it back and forth. But understand that all those students over there that are wrestling, they're going through the same stuff. And then the coaches and the colleges and the programs that they wrestle for or play ball for or something like that, they always have tutoring programs and study halls and stuff like that for their team. They do everything they could to help their students keep on track with their grades. So just remember that too, if that's an issue for you about time management or anything. So just remember that too. And then what about you, Vani? I know you're only a sophomore, but did you fall in love with wrestling enough to where you might want to do this and continue on doing this?
I definitely thought about it, but I'm not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just focusing on high school wrestling.
High school wrestling now? All right. Well, how about this, or is this intruding too much? I heard that you guys both get really good grades too, and what you talking? Yeah.
Yeah, I get good grades.
A's and B's.
I would say
Always.
freshman and sophomore year,
Always.
I was lacking.
Yeah.
Because it's school and I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But towards the end of sophomore year is when I started focusing on my grades more and started getting A's and B's. I believe last year I got superior honor roll, so it's like
Nice.
3.5 and above.
Yeah.
I had like a 3.9.
Oh yeah.
And I got it again for first semester senior year.
First semester senior. Well, keep it up. And how about you, Vani? I heard somebody say straight A's over there.
Oh yeah.
Straight A's.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, you know what? That's one thing that I always encourage everybody. Superior honor roll. Just go for those 4.0s. And I always told my kids the same thing. I always push for that 4.0, and don't push for a 3.0. Push for a 4.0, because what if you get the 4.0? You might get a 3.0, but that all A's thing. I think that it really looks impressive when colleges are looking at your grades and stuff, trying to get you in. So just encouragement. Hey, Bethany, you do station identification.
Yeah, so this is the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. We are on episode 12, KWTN 100.9 FM.
All right, and
I had
ladies.
a question real quick.
Oh yeah.
So I was going to ask, with both of you having really great grades in school, what's your favorite subjects?
Ooh, definitely math and science.
Math and science?
I would say entrepreneur class.
Entrepreneur class, nice.
We get to make shirts and print them. Sometimes these stickers.
Mm-hmm.
You can make like objects. I think I made a cup one time and I took it home. It had like my name engraved at the bottom.
Oh,
So every
cool.
time
You
I
get to
drink, I could
customize
look in
them.
there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good question there. So maybe even from now until you guys graduate, you guys can be keeping your eye on those kind of programs at the school you guys are trying to go to. Because sounds like Aiden wants to make some money quick. That's good though. Getting an entrepreneur. start your own business up, go to school for
Mhm.
business and whatnot. And then Vonnie, science and math. Not too often do you get that, I remember hearing a story. There was a statistic. It was these guys were going around to these native schools, and then they would also go to these non-native schools. And you go to the native schools, and they'll be asking the question, how many of you in here want to play professional sports when you get older? And then like almost the majority of the student body would all raise their hand. I would say 70%, 70 to 80% maybe would all raise their hand. That's what they want to do when they get up there and get old, get older. That's what they want to do. But when you go into a non-native school, like an all-white school, and you ask that same question, and they said that only 10% raised their hand at those schools, because most of the students, they all want to be entrepreneurs and scientists and doctors and lawyers and stuff like that. Things for a real career, a real kind of a real career with like reality. Reality. There's only about less than probably a tenth of a number percent of any athlete going to play professional sports. There's so many out there. You think about all the high school basketball players, how many of them make a big college? How many of them make a small college? How many of them even can make it to college to play ball? And then out of all those ones, how many of those ones can make the next level to be professionals? Not too many. I think there's only maybe about 300, 350 or 400 NBA players, every year, and that's over millions and millions and millions of basketball players. So the kind of the possibility of getting into the professional sports is really low, unless you're built for it, you're born for something like that, or you really work your butts off to get there. But there's nothing wrong with having these other subjects, being your maybe your goal. I want to be a scientist. I want to be a businessman. Those are the types of things that that we probably need to start encouraging a little bit more here at our schools in Winnebago. Those kinds of subjects and stuff like that. So I know I kind of went off subject a little bit, but we're talking here with these young student athletes here, and I think that any kind of encouragement that these guys can get would be good. All right, so we're gonna scoot down to this subject here. So, you guys, Hayden and Ivani, you guys just got back from the state wrestling meet down in Omaha, and I want to ask you guys, try to remember the match you were in. The match you were in. Think back to the match you were in where you was at the hardest part, where you was either struggling or like where you finally got a move that you wanted to do and it took everything you had. That feeling that you had during that time. Those are the kind of experience I kind of want you guys to share a little bit. You don't have to elaborate too much, but maybe just talk about one of your matches that you remember what happened, so we can kind of tell the viewers and maybe kind of share your experience. Go ahead, Aiden.
So my first match at state, it was kind of like towards like the beginning of it too, so it wasn't even that far in. I kind of just went for this move they call the Bago.
The Bago?
The Bago.
It's kind of what Tramner calls it.
Yeah.
It's not actually called that, but so you kind of just put them in a like kind of like a headlock almost, and you put your left arm over their back, and you kind of just like throw them.
Uh-huh.
Really, and then I put most of my strength in it, and I tossed him, had him on his back for a few seconds. We kind of went out of bounds, so I let him go, but thinking we were out of bounds, but he was still in, I guess, because my knees were in.
Uh-huh.
So he got the escape point, and yeah, he beat me by 2 points. He was like third in the state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a close match though.
Right? He was
Yeah.
a tough competitor.
Yeah, I was kind of throwing him around a little bit.
Well, good. Well, hey, you can always say that too, though, you know. And then, so I remember you were saying that you weren't even going to go out for wrestling this year. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So last year during the summer, I went to Florida for Disney Duels for wrestling.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I had only 2 matches. My second match is when I broke my hand.
Oh, you broke
Yeah,
your hand?
Yeah, I thought I'd like hit my hand pretty good, so I wasn't sure. I was like, is this like an injury or is it like just a ooh ow, like walk it off or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Is that scar right there?
Yeah, that's that scar.
Okay, I see it.
So yeah, I went for a double leg. He sprawled on me. Then I kind of like sat on my legs and I elevated my head, so I kind of lifted his legs up, so his head's kind of close to the ground, and then his legs are all the way up. And then I brought down his legs pretty hard because I was trying to be badass.
You was trying to flex.
I brought him down pretty hard, and then I like noticed right away. I was like, damn, that kind of hurt my hand.
Your hands start tingling.
Yeah. Then I let him up, and then I was trying to do a takedown again on him, but I couldn't squeeze at all. Like,
oh man,
like I could barely grab anything with my hand.
I see.
It hurt really bad. So I told Tramner, and he was like, you're just pie or whatever. Because I told him, I was like, I don't think I can wrestle.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was a little bit disappointed that I didn't wrestle that whole like next 3 days.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And then so when did you find out that you actually
Like
broke
a
a
week
bone?
later.
A week later?
Yeah, like I think I was at the gym, and I was showing a lot of people, and there was like bruising in my hand.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's when I like yeah, I went in the gym and like started repping like weights, heavy weights too. It was like around my weight. I was like, I'm like 130, so I had like 135, and I was just repping it out. Now I can't even do that because my hand was in a cast for so long.
Yeah.
Because I had it broke twice actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, I put it in a brace, and then during football season I broke my thumb just like towards the end of the season. So then that's when I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna wrestle.
So you just your left hand basically was kind of like got put on the injured list, huh?
Yeah.
And so knowing that you was doing rehab on your hand, and then deciding to wrestle again, was your senior year calling you? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man, it's your senior year. Let's
it was
just
also
do it.
My coach Keegan.
Yeah.
He told me that he stayed here in Bago for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because not just for me, but like I was the biggest reason.
Yeah.
Because
no, I understand that. Oh,
yeah, he was gonna go back somewhere like closer to his home.
Yeah.
But
so
he decided to stay.
Shout out to Coach Keegan.
Yeah.
Come on, that's hey, that's some love right there from a coach,
Yeah.
And I know I have a lot of coaches on here, and we talk about the relationships that they have with their athletes, and a lot of them talk about those same kind of relationships, like, man, I stuck around for you, or man, I'm gonna do something special because of you, or something like that, so that happens a lot. So that's what I said. Shout out to your coach right there. So happy that he decided to stick around to see you actually, get to state and everything, and then overcome that obstacle of your injured hand, and then talking you into it. So yeah, shout out to him, man, for that. Okay, Vani, I know you was down there wrestling. I told your dad, message me, let me know how it goes and everything, and somebody go live and all that stuff. And I know that your dad is probably just as excited or even more excited for the state wrestling meet than you were. How about let us know about what your experiences on one of your matches.
It's got to be my first match that I had down there.
Yeah.
I was down in points, and I was thinking that home match, like, I don't want it to be like last year, because last year at state, I lost my first round. Yeah, so I wanted to turn that around.
Yeah. So your first match, how'd it go then?
She was up in points, and then like towards like the very end in the last period, I ended up getting a takedown on her, and then after that she just like gave up. Like there's no fight left in her.
Oh, really? So what do you think? You think you took all her wind out when you slammed her down, or do you think that that you might have just outstrengthened her and she just got exhausted?
I think she might have got exhausted, but then again, early in the year I did wrestle her before, and I pinned her, and
Do you
she
think-
had a hard time fighting out of that. So
Oh, okay. So she and she
It was a
remembered.
second matchup.
So she remembered, huh? Do you guys, does wrestling, this sport, do you guys always know that, oh, I wrestled this person before?
Usually.
Oh, sorry.
Usually, but everyone at state that I was wrestling, I've never met before. So
Never?
it was kind of like all
No.
known.
Fresh
That's
slate.
good. So Vani, so you won that first match, and so that feeling, you said you was gonna change things around. So that feeling after that first match you won, tell us about that feeling right there.
it was a good feeling that you proved that. Well, I proved that I could do it.
That you was meant to be there, that you belong down there, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then, how about your dad? Did he give you a big old hug? How'd that go?
Yeah, he gave me a big old hug.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad's a real competitor out there. He's one of the, he's like my older brother Buff. Like they just hate to lose, you know. They just hate to lose, and so seeing his baby girl out there and having that referee, you know, hold your arm up there like that for the dub. I bet you that was just like the memory of a lifetime for him, you know. And then you're not even done yet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, congratulations to you guys both again. And I'm real happy you guys stopped up here to and share your experiences, you know, share your guys' knowledge about this sport, wrestling. So it was a real good interview. I know that we got some more subject to talk about. If you guys want to stick around and visit about these topics, that's fine. You know, they're right there. We're just going to scoot on to a couple of these different topics, you know. So, but in between, we're going to get a station identification.
Yeah, so this is episode 12 here on the Big Voice Radio,
Yes.
KWTN 100.9 FM.
All right, so the DJ Bessami. So on this list of topics that we're going to talk about, the next one is Kyrie Irving. Okay, so the NBA All-Star Game happened this past weekend, and I know that myself and a lot of basketball fans, everybody is watching. That dunk contest was going on.
Yeah.
They had the 3-point contest, the skills challenge.
Everybody but me. I'm just kidding.
Everybody but Beth. Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty. Oh man, you know, I always got to bring up like back in the day, you know. And I know some of the listeners out there are either my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, and they all remember the basketball players back in the day: Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem, Dominique Wilkins, Larry Bird. You know, all those Isaiah Thomas, all those old school ballers. And those are the guys that used to be in the All-Star game back in the day. And a lot of this All-Star game has, you could tell that they put a lot of money into this, and not just the players themselves, but they put a lot of money into just to the, like what we do with the live stream. All the gimmicks and the props and the cameras
audio,
and
the
everything,
angles.
all the reporters and
All the lines they have to run.
everything. There's so much money spent on these things, so they gotta show out, you know. And there was a picture this of the All-Star game where they had two guys going one-on-one. One had the ball, the other guy was playing defense, and then they were at the bottom of the picture, and then the other 8 players were on top of the picture on the other side of the basketball court, all just standing there with their hands on their hips, letting those two guys play one-on-one out there because they were teammates. and the picture was saying that this is where the NBA is at today. It's nothing but a show. Where a long time ago with the older ball players that I talked about just a little while ago with Magic and Jordan, those guys, when they were in the All-Star game, it was competitive. Like they were out there, they were blocking shots and putting people to the floor, playing defense and things like that. And in the All-Star game now, they don't do that anymore. And it's more of just a 3-point contest inside of a game, which is still fun to watch because the kids get into it and everything, and they do have better shooters nowadays than they did back in the day. And so seeing them shoot from a distance is cool when they make them, but they weren't making all of them. And so it seemed a little boring to me. But during the game, so Kyrie Irving, we brought his name up, Little Mountain.
Yep.
From the Standing Rock tribe up there in North Dakota. He was on LeBron's team, and a few months ago he got his contract taken away from Nike, and it was all something he put on the internet and stuff like that. I'm not even gonna get into that, but anyway, but Nike, just kind of basically said goodbye to Kyrie, and so I don't even know if Kyrie signed for any shoes or not, but the shoes that he wears, I think he still wears his brand Kyrie, but he just can't have that Nike sign on it, so he tapes it up.
Okay.
He tapes
Has
up
to
that
block
Nike
it.
so you can't see it. But somebody made him some moccasin type covers for his shoes, and they were just like, they were leather, and they had some kind of pony beads on them, and they covered up his whole shoe. So when he was out there hooping, it looked like he was actually hooping on moccasins, but I mean, they were his tennis shoes. They were just covered with this leather,
Yeah.
And so,
Try to see if I could find a visual.
yeah, just type in Kyrie Irving's All-Star shoes or something like that. Yeah, so she's gonna pull that up. So you watchers there on Facebook, if you guys haven't seen the pictures of those, yeah, right there. So the pictures of Kyrie Irving's basketball shoes. So see the bottoms of it, they're still Kyrie's, but he's got them covered up with his moccasins, and I thought they were pretty creative. And on our topic list here that we had for the listeners, it says the shoes. You gonna cop it? You gonna cop it? Or are you gonna just stop it? That's my question there. And so maybe you listeners, if you guys are out there, maybe throw in the comments section whether you would cop those or just stop it, because I think you could probably fix those up a little bit better with some color. They might even look good.
Have someone razzle dazzle those up.
Yeah,
I think I'd cop.
If you think you cop, I'd probably cop them, especially nowadays, and I'd get those for the entire basketball team. Let's go and put our own colors on there. That'd be pretty dope. So listeners out there, if you are on Facebook, go ahead and see if you guys would cop them or just stop them. All right, so we're gonna skip over Peru State for a second here, and I'm gonna talk about high school basketball, and I'll come back to Peru State here in a few minutes, but I'm gonna talk about high school basketball. And a lot of the listeners out there actually wait around for this topic here to talk about high school basketball. So last night the postseason started for our 4 native schools here in Northeast Nebraska. The Wall Hill Blue Jays, they played their first round game up in Wynot, Nebraska. And we played Wynot twice this year. Winnebago played Wynot twice this year, and we beat them one time, and then we lost one time. And the time we lost was the first round of the Lewis and Clark Conference Tournament. Man, I didn't like that game, but they had a couple hoopers on their team, and so I kind of think Winnebago went 1-1 with them, but I know what kind of couple ball players that Wynot had, and they gave Wall Hill some problems last night. So Wall Hill's boys team is done for the season. They lost to Wynot last night. Yeah, pretty rough game too. I guess there was a lot of fouling going on and stuff like that. I heard online, and then so then the Santee Warriors, they were in action last night as well in their first round game, and actually it was Santee's first time that they actually got to host the sub-district games here at their school, because they were the number 1 seed, and I believe that Santee only has 3 losses on the year, and they have a good core of talented young men that can run the floor and shoot the 3. And so yeah, they played last night and they got their first win. So tentatively, that team from Santee will be playing again in the second round up in Santee on Thursday.
Nice.
And when I say tentatively, that's because the weather's kind of bad out there, so we're not exactly sure what's going to happen in the next couple of days with this weather. So
hopefully the weather subsides so we can continue on.
You know what, Beth? I always say that like on, and this is just the basketball coach in me. Like, I don't like it when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, all right, game day. I'll wake everybody up. I'll say game day, and then if the weather comes, then they cancel the game. Man, that's so disappointing. It sure is, you know.
It's
but
like that kick the dirt moment.
Yeah, like, so now what we can do? You know, stay home. No, but
go watch some YouTube highlights or something.
Yeah, so congratulations to the Santee Warriors for their win, and it was a pretty dominant win too, and so I know that they're excited for this next game. You boys go out there and run them in that next game, one game at a time.
So also Omaha Nation, they hosted sub-districts down there.
Omaha Nation's they hosted their sub-districts for the first time in their school as well.
Making history.
Yeah, making history for our res teams, you know. And so we had Coach Santos on here last week talking about his squad, and I believe we brought up their bracket for the subs and saw that they played Homer first round, and I think Homer only won like 2 or 3 games, and so we kind of knew that Omaha Nation was going to handle them, and it looks like that they might be playing. I'm not exactly sure who they're going to be playing in that next game. I think it's Oakland Craig and Logan View is in that next one, but I think Oakland Craig's probably going to win that game, and so then I believe that Oakland Craig and Omaha Nation played before too, and I think Omaha Nation won. So looks like a pretty promising bracket for Omaha Nation and Santee. When I say that, it's like, you know, just trying to eyeball out these teams and stuff like that, and try to see who's you know, when you're trying to make a bet on a team. Oh, this one's gonna win. Oh, they're gonna win. Does that say Takema Herman?
Yeah.
Okay, so Takema Herman and Oakland Craig play each other, and and I'm pretty sure Oakland won
tonight, right? Or no, that was last night.
That was last night.
Yeah.
So then the game's scheduled for Thursday, but I heard that if the games aren't, because we're Northeast Nebraska, because of the weather, if the games aren't on for Thursday, that they're going to be on for Friday. And so at the same school at the same time, just pushing it back a day because of the weather. Okay, so Omaha Nation, congratulations for getting out of that first round, and let's keep on moving, guys. Let's keep on moving. Same thing I said about the other team. You guys just run the ball, run, and play like a team. Don't ever be selfish, but be selfless out there in the basketball court. And then if you guys ain't playing defense, then might as well pack it up. And so the same thing I'm going to say about my boys, the Winnebago Indians. Last night, got to travel over to Wayne, Nebraska, Wayne, America, my old stomping grounds, for the first round between Winnebago and West Point Beamer. And West Point Beamer, they had a couple good ball players on their team. They had a couple good ball players. I was having a conversation with my boys this morning, and they had a freshman from West Point Beamer that was probably their best ball player,
Mm-hmm.
and he got to the rack, 4 or 5 times, and probably got an and one 2 or 3 times, and he just kind of kept them in a game. And so shout out to that youngster there from West Point Beamer, the freshman, who was getting in there and getting those left-hand layups. But the Winnebago Indians come out ready to play ball last night, y'all. I mean, the live stream. The live stream was on. I saw I watched the live stream over, this today, and just so proud of the Indians. They've been on what I call a roller coaster this year. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, and when they had their ups, man, they were up there, and then when they had their downs, they were down there, and so that's what a good analogy is, a roller coaster. But right now, the way that they're playing in the last 2 weeks, since that loss that I was talking about from Wynot, since then, Winnebago's been playing like playoff basketball. They're sharing the ball. Like the thing I just now said a few seconds ago about not being selfish and being more selfless, you see that like on almost every possession, that the boys don't care who's scoring as long as somebody gets the better shot, and they're not forcing up too many shots now. And then their defense, oh my gosh, their defense, like I could take this team around anywhere and win games. I'm not talking high school, just like the different tournaments. Let's go to different tournaments, and the 3 guards that we have up there with Duran Blackfish and Naomi and Reese. I mean, those guys, all 3 of those guys right there could be potential 30-point scorers at any time, but last night the scoring was so balanced. They all had big games, and then and not just because he's my son, but I got to give a shout out to my son Rock. Rock is a freshman this year. He got to start last night because Winnebago's short-staffed. He got to start in varsity last night as a freshman, and he played the entire game. I think they took him out with like 17 seconds left in the game, but he played the entire game, and he showed out for him. He only had 3 points, but he had just on both sides of the ball. He was there. He was there for the team, and me and his mom are real proud of him. Coaches are proud of him, and a lot of the hustle that he did, he learned that hustle from those 3 boys that I'm telling you about, because he watches them play defense out there, and those boys they're menaces on defense, and Rock fits right in there with him. All those boys fit right in there with him. It's just that he got his number called last night and he was ready, and so having a huge game from the youngsters, and then a huge game from the upperclassmen, man, it's just it's a fun time to watch these guys play basketball. And so the next game that they're supposed to be playing, since they got out of the first round, is they play Wayne, scheduled for tomorrow. And I believe that game's scheduled for like 7 o'clock or something like that. It's scheduled for 7 o'clock tomorrow at Wayne. So like I said before, weather pending, if the weather's bad tomorrow, then and they don't have school, they're going to call the game off too and push it to Friday. So just keep your ears out for that. But just back to the game from last night. Congratulations to the Winnebago Indians for their first round win over there at Wayne, Nebraska. So we're going to be going into hostile territory tomorrow. Going over to Wayne. We go to Wayne. We play Wayne High School at Wayne High School. And man, this is a radio station from Winnebago, like a res radio station. But so I'm just going to say, I hope that they grab a couple referees that will be fair. I never ask for a ref to call it our way or be in favor of us. I always just ask for somebody that's fair.
Don't be biased either way.
That'll give our boys the equal chance as the other team. That's all I ask for, and I don't think that's much to ask. But it's not like that. We all know that when we go around, it's different. But we just got to play through it.
Yep.
That's one thing, Bethany, that I really love about our Winnebago basketball players is that they don't let the referees get to them, and they've been going through the same thing ever since they was second and third graders, because that's how far back it goes.
Yeah.
The referees always like that to them. So back then, get mad, you get older, get mad, get older, and eventually that you just get used to it.
Yeah,
And so
they adapted.
Yeah, they have to adapt to that kind of environment, and then it teaches them to learn to just to get over it, and let's play ball.
Yeah.
Get over it and play ball, because he's not going to blow the whistle again and say, "Oh no, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to call that." No, he's not going to do that. So get over it, and what do you got to do to get back in this game?
Yeah.
So, that's huge. That's huge for the boys to have a mentality like that. So, good luck to you, Winnebago Indians, on your next round. Not sure. Sponsors out there, if there's sponsors out there, I wouldn't mind going over to do live stream for that game over in Wayne.
I know, that'd be pretty cool.
So, sponsors, anybody interested in that, so we could bring that to your living room?
Yes, so if you are interested in sponsoring one of our live streams, I know that it would be a little short notice with
Oh yeah.
with it being tomorrow, but we probably could still make something happen if the weather doesn't impede on anybody on our plans.
But definitely, if we get past this second round and we go to the district championship game, we're gonna do everything we can to bring the game to your guys' living room, bring the game to your guys' radio station. So
yeah, so our sponsor, if we have anyone interested in sponsoring, you can reach out to me at bethany.redhorn, bethany.redhorn@winnebagotribe.com, or we have our office phone line. It's 402-878-2272, and we are at extension 4001. And so if you are interested in sponsoring, that would be really awesome.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and scoot back to Peru State basketball. I was reading a couple articles on Peru State. My nephew, David Wingett and Matthew Wingett, those guys play for the Peru State basketball team, and they were eligible to play together after Christmas, like about maybe 2 or 3 games after Christmas break, and since then the Peru State's basketball team's been on a rampage.
Yeah.
I think David's averaging nearly 20 points a game. I saw some good pictures on his Facebook of him dunking in a game and shooting threes in a game. So really proud of that, not just of those boys, but their basketball team right there. Because they went on such a good run that I believe that they made it to where they're the number 1 seed in their conference tournament. And I'm kind of looking at the standings right now, and looks like a team that they beat, William Penn. Peru State gave William Penn their only conference loss.
Yep.
And so with that, I believe that's why they gave Peru State the number 1 seed in their side of the bracket. And so definitely have to follow the links to Peru State's. I believe you just got to log on to their website, the Peru State Bobcats, and then it just gives you an option for watching games, and it's free. So
nice.
You
They're
see
not
that?
charging you to be able to.
No, you just click on it, and then it'll come up. So there was a couple pictures there.
I want to give them the full effect of how it works.
If you if the viewers, if you're seeing that, just follow what Bethany's doing right there to get to the game. And if you got slow Wi-Fi, it might take a while, but there's the little page right there for the men's and the women's team, and the schedules and all that stuff right there. That she goes to the basketball right there. So maybe go to the girls one. The boys got the top seed in the tournament there, and I think they have one after this conference tournament. They have one regular season game after that scheduled, and then we hope they get into the postseason tournament, like the major national tournament at the end, because with the record that they have, and especially if they could do some damage and win this conference tournament, that they'll get a bid to the national tournament, and that will be exciting to watch right there, to see the boys from Winnebago and the young lady from Winnebago to play in the postseason. So, yeah, congratulations to the boys for doing that. And then, can you look at that women's? Is there a schedule?
Oh, yep. We'll get that schedule pulled up.
Okay. Yeah. So the women, they're looks like they're, what's that record there?
So
10 and 18.
Record, yep.
Overall
10-18.
10 and 18, and oh yeah, look at that. Do you see that back in November, Haskell Indian Nations University played Peru State.
Oh yeah.
And looks like Peru won by 6 points, 80-74.
Yep.
Hey, that was probably a fun game for Natasha Dale to play against a school full of Navy girls. So that's pretty cool. Not sure what the girls' conference bracket looks like over there, but good luck to Natasha and your squad for the remainder of the season here.
Yeah.
I know she really loves to play basketball, and making her mom and dad, and her whole family really proud. Hanging her second year hooping down here at Peru. So just hanging there and keep on going. Yeah, conference tournament right there. But yeah, so good luck you guys down in Peru State. I hope everything works out for you guys, and hope to see you guys play for a little bit longer, because everybody knows at the end of the season, this postseason, man, it's win or go home, and man, nobody wants to go home. Nobody wants to go home. So you guys, we could try to extend this basketball season just a little bit. So good luck you guys. Do a station identification.
Yep. So this is again episode 12 here on Big Voice Sports Talk Show, KWTN 100.9 FM, the Big Voice Radio.
All right. So I know I put weekly winners and losers. I haven't even thought of any weekly winner or loser.
I know. But I think I have one in mind. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna think of one, but I'm gonna bring up a subject real fast. Like, we have about 5 minutes.
We do one. I want to, before we end everything, I want to get into the special report that.
Oh yeah.
So we made mention of this on Winnebago Talks on Tuesday. So we have Winnebago Talks every Tuesday at 11 a.m. And we usually have a special report, which is put together by our Winnebago Indian News editor, Jordana Bass. But we decided to save it for Big Boy Sports. And it's going to be focusing on her trip to the wrestling.
Yeah. So we kind of missed that one when we should have did that when Aiden and Avani was in here.
I know. I was
just to kind of so they can hear it too. But Aiden, Avani, so Jordana, we talked about the Winnebago Indian News going live down there, and Jordana she's like a wrestling rookie as well. She's learning the game, and you guys really made it exciting for her. So we got a little audio report that Jordana did. So if you guys can just give our reporter just a few seconds of your time.
So that was a special report that was brought to you by our win editor, Jordana Bass. That was her trip down to the Shy Center in Omaha, Nebraska.
All right. And once again, thanks, Jordana, for that footage. I mean, you know, for the show, since we have not only audio, but we got the video part too, it really helps with that kind of stuff, so we can kind of show the watchers, the viewers, up close and personal the footage and from the tournament. So encourage that same. We have some tournaments coming up that maybe you can come and do some video reporting with us too.
Yeah.
This coming weekend, the East High Hayworth Hoops League for the middle school boys have their end of the year tournament, and our Warpath 7th grade and 6th grade both won their preseason tournament, and along with the 5th grade now didn't win it, but 5th grade is I think the number 1 seed in this tournament for their Division 2.
Warpath.
And Warpath 8th grade is in 2nd place in their division. So we're looking pretty good coming into the tournament time, and you know, just like the older boys, these kids been working all season long for this time right now, which is the postseason. And fortunately for these younger ones, there's more than just one postseason tournament.
Yep.
I think we're hitting like 4 or 5 postseason tournaments, and then it's going to be done for the season. Then we're going to go into summer ball. But shout out to Raz Vanderloo, and
wanted to also make mention. So I seen that this Friday, you guys, the Warpath is looking for sponsors to sponsor some Indian tacos.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we can get into that one real quick, like too. So I'm taking Coach Q
Yep.
is taking the junior varsity boys, the 9th and 10th graders, to an annual tournament down in Denver, Colorado. It's called the All West Native American Basketball Classic. This tournament's been going on for, I believe it's 38 years. And Winnebago's always had teams in there. We actually went down there when we were in high school. I took many teams down there in my past 23 years of coaching. I took many teams down there. But I haven't been down there for about 12 years, maybe 13 years. I haven't been down here since I coached last. I've been down there to watch some games, but not coach. Well, I'm coaching this year. I'm taking a JV team down, and this team I'm probably gonna be taking down for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're having a fundraiser. We're trying to raise some money for gas and food and lodging for these young student athletes. And we're having an Indian taco sale.
We're looking for some sponsors.
Yeah, we're looking for sponsorship too. So if anybody out there, wants to get that tax write-off and maybe sponsor a youth team, give Coach Q a call or hit me up in my inbox and just give me the details, and I can give you the details of this tournament, everything like that. But we're having an Indian taco sale on Friday out to the Woodland Trails building here in Winnebago, out there by the DEG. So if you guys are going to be hungry on Friday, we're having an Indian taco sale. I believe it's $8 for a huge plate-sized taco and a drink. So come on out and show your support. And thank you, Beth.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I am going to wing it on this weekly winner and loser. So after thinking about all the stuff we talked about tonight and talking about weekly winners and losers, I'm really proud of the two student athletes that came in here. And I know that, I believe it was last week that you gave them the winners of the week, the wrestlers, or it might have been the week before.
Yeah.
But today I'm going to go ahead and, because I'm all in my feelings right now because I got to sit here and visit with these two young adults, and I'm going to give my weekly winner to both of them because, just hearing their stories and how they came to love wrestling and, what it took to get them where they went down to the state wrestling meet, kind of made me all mushy inside. So I'm going to give the weekly winner to them guys.
Nice. Okay. Me, I'm going to go with my weekly winner. It's going to be, I had them in mind and I was just like, yep, I have them. Who was it?
While you're thinking,
Yep.
I can tell you my weekly loser.
Okay.
My weekly loser is the NBA All-Star game. Just the game itself. It wasn't fun to watch. There was a couple cool dunks in there, but I've seen those dunks before, so it wasn't really anything too special. So the NBA All-Star game is my weekly loser.
Okay. I had someone in mind, but you know what? This week I'm going to go with our, I don't know if I did or not, but I'm going to give my weekly winner to those boys over there with the esports team that won that state.
The state championship?
Yeah, the state
championships. There you go. All those young cats that
we
represented
have one of our apprentices, Marlon. He's on that team as well.
Oh yeah, I think
shout out to Marlon.
My sonny boy,
all of them.
Zane Wayne is on there too. Yeah. So congratulations, you guys. And I don't know about a weekly loser. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
We'll just go ahead and leave that one alone. So before we end the show tonight, I just want to give a huge and special shout out to my grandma, my Gaga, Viola LaPointe. Her 92nd birthday today.
Yes.
And we're having a big old birthday celebration up at the St. Augustine's gym. It started at 5:30, so I'm going to be a little late. But I'm kind of always a little bit late anyway. So when I walk in, they're going to be saying, "Hey, Norm." So anyway.
Yeah.
So
well, shout out to Grandma Vi.
Yeah, shout out to Grandma Vi and shout out to the LaPointe family. This is Coach Q here at the Big Voice Sports Talk Show, episode 12. Here with DJ Bessami, filling in for DJ Garanteed for the discussion in these sports. And Beth, say thank you to you for helping me out tonight discussing the sports, and also the questions that you had and the input that we got from the youngsters. No, it was huge. I'm real happy that we called them up. And next week we're gonna try to find ourselves another coach, maybe to talk about something that happened this week.
Definitely.
Maybe Coach Trayvon Bear, or maybe we can even get the coach from Santee, Waylon LaPointe, get him up here, or even kind of tune him in over the phone or something like that to talk about their trip to the state tournament, if they get there. Hopefully we'll all get there.
Yes, definitely. So also join us here on the Big Voice tomorrow. We have All Requests Live at 11 a.m. That's with me, DJ Bessami, and that's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then also we are going to be going into the afternoon for when like everybody's getting off work and stuff. We'll have Res Ride with MCBKC, and that's from 4 to 6 p.m. So that's tomorrow here on the Big Voice.
Yes, tune in, everybody. Tune in and get your requests out there.